Welcome to the Expendable Show. I'm your host, The Expendable. With me, Vice President, soon to be President Kamala Harris. Just kidding, it's Shawna.
Bullshit.
What? So Shawna joins us in studio today. We're going to do a little special thing that she requested later in the show. And I think it might be fun. It'll be a little bit different, but it'll be something that we put a little bit, or I put a little bit of time in. She's just going to talk about it. It's not even funny. That's how it always is. I do all the work and you get all the glory.
Perfect.
But let's go over like some of the news. It's been like since we had last podcasted a regular podcast from Wednesday, like so many things have happened. The biggest news of the day, Biden dropped out of the race. I think everybody's covering it already. That's huge. I mean, basically, so what happened was, and I don't know if you'll agree with me on this, Shawna, but Biden was basically bullied out of the presidency. And, I have mixed feelings about it because I've been saying this whole time, like I feel bad for Biden because his dementia is advancing. And it was advancing drastically. So I'm glad he's out, but at the same time, I don't like how they did it. I feel like that, and he just put out a statement. He never got on the podium and said, I did the best I could, and my health just isn't. I have to come to the realization that my health isn't as good.
Mm-hmm.
I wish he would have done something like that. But he did. They did it. They bullied him right out of the presidency. So he made the statement, and then he didn't endorse anybody right away. Then they're like, oh shit, everybody's saying he didn't endorse anybody. So they put out another statement that says that he fully endorses Kamala Harris for the presidency. Now, to talk about this real quick, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it because there's a lot of legal issues involved that I need to look into. But I don't think that they can just push Kamala into the presidency. Now, if Biden was to, and I know the Republicans are working on this right now, they're probably going to try to evoke the 25th on Biden to get him out now. If that happens, then Kamala will be the president without question, and nobody will be able to contest that. However, for her to just be given the delegates, that's going to be a problem because each state has their own voting laws. And so those states do not have to give Kamala Harris the delegates. So what I'm hearing is Obama wants to do an open primary at the DNC and just vote whoever it is. And I think they're going to backdoor Kamala Harris for Hillary. Or somebody like Gretchen Whitmer, which either one of them, they're both just as evil as each other, except I'm pretty sure Hillary allegedly has probably assassinated more people.
Yeah, I said they got to choose it from the National Convention.
Yeah, and that's so it's a problem, and then the campaign money is a problem too, because they can't give Biden's campaign money to anybody except Kamala Harris. So they would have to, if they backdoor Kamala, they're gonna have to start over on campaign financing. So there's some election law stuff that they're gonna have to work through. And I guarantee you, every step that they try to make, the Republicans are going to contest it. So this could be a long drawn out thing. I don't know, even if the DNC happens and they vote somebody in, I'm not real sure that will be the final say, just because of all the legal things that are going to happen. And because of that, I'm seeing a lot of posts on, especially from Democrats on social media, saying that I did not vote for Kamala Harris. I voted for Joe Biden. I wouldn't vote for Kamala Harris for president. So they have a problem, and Kamala Harris already polls lower than Joe Biden on everything. So there's a lot of issues with that. So that's my cats aren't getting along right now. I got a pregnant one. But I mean, do you have any thoughts on that, Sean?
I'm reading. Well,
No.
I don't know. Since I find it funny that even her own people that she's with don't really want her.
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty well known that she was a race candidate. I don't see. I have differing opinions on Kamala Harris because I see there's two different Kamala Harrises. There's the Kamala Harris when she was the district attorney, and then there's Kamala Harris, the vice president, and those are two completely different people. I mapped that out really clearly in my first book, and I just think that Kamala Harris is smarter than what she portrays, and I don't think she's on board with the plan. So I think that's why she does what she does, or the lack of doing anything. Uh, I feel like she's like just sabotaged the Biden administration because she don't really like them.
Maybe she just, like, oh, okay, y'all need me because it's gonna make him look better. Like, oh, first black woman VP.
Yeah, woman and she's black.
And she's a woman of color.
And then she didn't claim to be black.
We're not gonna say she's black. We'll say she's a woman of color. So I feel like she's just known her role. Maybe that's it. Like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna play my role, just sit back, I'm chilling. Like, I don't really have to do nothing. That's not what I'm here for. I'm just here.
Yeah. Well, now, I mean, that backfired on her because I
don't think any of them expected this to happen.
Well, no, but that's why you're supposed to be prepared as vice president for these types of things.
But I feel like the whole Democratic Party just isn't. Because like if you look at it, like they're trying to like figure out, well, who's going to get it? Like, I mean, if they had a for sure plan, they would have been like, okay, Joe's out, we got somebody else in play.
Well, Joe did say at the beginning that he was a transitional president, that he knew that he was just that was the best that they had at the time. And so he knew that he was just buying time for them to prep another candidate. Well, now we're at that situation where I don't think they have a candidate prepped. If they have to resort to Hillary or even remotely put her in the hat, that tells me they don't have a candidate and they go back to the old candidates that didn't work. Trump already beat Hillary. She's already not favorable. They already found out that she lied and all her people lied on the Steele dossier. So she's got lots of added problems. The Russia collusion hoax was Hillary's thing. Like, she's already been caught lying.
Like, people do not like Hillary. I don't.
Yeah, she's just not. She's a scary looking woman. Like, I feel like she could be a serial killer.
Oh, she probably is.
Like, she's like Eileen
she
Warren.
Definitely likes the power.
Yeah, that's because she's a reptilian.
Stop! Don't you start.
She's a reptilian.
Anyways, it's like struggle bus city for them right now.
Yeah, they have issues.
But this just, I feel like with them starting off and it's just, oh, you can't be foolish to vote for the Republican Party and all these things like that. And it's just like, y'all don't even have your shit together and you want people to vote for you. Like, how? You don't even have a strong candidate right now to replace the one that you were pushing so hard.
Yeah, they have a likability problem. All their top 20 candidates, people just don't like them.
I think that really need to start first. People are actually starting to wake up.
If I was the head of the Democrat Party, I would get a candidate and I would say scrap the plan and do the opposite. And you would poll better. But then when you're president, just go back to the plan. I mean, that's what I would do. I mean, not gonna lie. I mean, if I was the Democrat Party, you already try to deceive everybody all the time. So you might as well just do an election deception just to win the election, to save America from the evil MAGA democracy.
It's just looking real bad right now. So
it does. They're caught up, and then the media got caught lying because they were saying Joe Biden's up to par and that he's a great candidate, and then come to find out he's not. And which we all knew. I think America knew, and I think that's what hurt them a lot was the media kept lying about it.
I feel like they were hoping that her popularity was going to be better
Yeah.
than his.
Because they tried to rebrand her several times, and it just didn't.
Because I mean, like, for one, it's so many things just wrong with this whole thing. But I mean, I feel like the main problem is nobody really knows her. Like, she hasn't done anything in
That's
her
fair. That's
in
fair.
her seat. So we like the most we've seen her was "We Did It, Joe," and then that's it. It's like Kamala is disappeared.
Well, you remember when she was her first job as vice president was to be the border czar. And look, we're in year 3, and Biden had to sign an executive order to get anything done. Yeah. And it was still a shitty executive order, but still, Kamala was in charge of that. Mm-hmm. And then they put her in charge of the AI because she was screwing the border czar up. And then I don't know what she did with the AI thing. You know, I don't think she ever did anything.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, no one really knows who she is. We haven't really seen her work besides pre-VP life. So, and people were not very fond of her then. So it's just a continuous cycle of that. But they were hoping she was going to be just enough more likable than him that it would have worked and it would have rolled. But
I think it's pretty obvious that the Democrat parties, they don't like Kamala Harris anyway.
Yeah. Because that's what she was there for one thing. That's the whole thing. She was there to secure the black vote. And it was going to look good on his presidency, even though he was supposed to just be the stand-in. It was like, okay, we're going to get him. He's going to do something phenomenal while he was on his presidency. And that's to have a black woman, a colored woman VP.
Yeah.
But no one likes her. They didn't like her then. They don't like her now. So that was
I like the old Kamala. I like the old Kamala when she was the district attorney and when she was attorney general of California.
They hated her then too.
Well, she's locking everybody up.
Yeah.
And she closed the border in California. People didn't like that. Those liberals that smell their own farts. Anyway, so we'll move on to the next item up for bid. There's a lot of stuff that we got to go through today. So Trump had his first rally in Grand Rapids, Michigan. It was the first one since the assassination attempt. Like, it was packed. The energy was big. I thought he did a really good job. JD Vance did a really good job. So everything went smooth with that whole thing. So I'm not going to talk too much about that. You know, obviously JD Vance is vice president. He's an Ohio boy, go Bucks. And he's from the Ohio State University. You still remember Ohio State stole your Georgia quarterback, Justin Fields. We did that. We did that.
Listen, I've been living in a University of Alabama household.
What?
Okay, roll tide, baby. No UGA. I'm sorry.
That's the weird thing about Georgia. There's a lot of Alabama fans here. Like, people are like obsessed with elephants around here, and I don't get it.
What do you mean? Go to Athens and tell me if that's.
I've been to Athens. I went to their national championship parade. It was cool. But there's 100,000 people that went to the parade. Like, you literally couldn't go nowhere.
Go Dogs.
Anyway, so JD Vance is the vice president. We already know that. It's nothing major. He's doing a really good job with his speaking. I'm pretty impressed with him. He's a new senator. He was a new senator before Trump appointed him vice president. So there really wasn't a lot known about him other than he wrote that book that turned into a movie about his life. Mm-hmm. So as far as like what his policies were, I was still kind of up in the air because he was a never Trumper. He was a never Trumper, and then he switched.
Money talks.
Well, it could be. So I actually got into a little argument with my dad about it because he was like, just trust in Trump's decision. I'm like, well, I don't trust JD Vance right now.
But here's the thing. Which party do you want to be with? You want to be the ones who are scrambling to get shit together, or the people who's like, listen, we got a plan. All we need for you is to follow the plan.
Well, and I think that's why it's a good pick now that I've learned a little bit more about JD Vance and I know what he stands on.
I already told you he was too good. Stand next to
Byron Donalds?
Yeah. Oh no, is that the one that you said he spoke really well? Which one was it?
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yeah, no. He was too charismatic. He can't be next to Trump. Because it's gonna be why isn't he running for president?
They're going to be fighting over the microphone.
Exactly. That's why they couldn't put him to Trump. So
Donald Trump.
Man band.
Donald Trump just put out a statement.
And
Joe Biden is the worst president in the history of our country. Typical Donald Trump.
He had to get it out. He's been on his best behavior. Honestly, he's been on his best behavior, so he had to get that out. We gotta let him have it.
He couldn't say, "I wish Joe Biden luck." In his next
had he not said anything, we would have all been thinking, okay, they just cloned him at this point. It's not even Donald anymore.
Right.
Like, it can't be. So he had to be him, and so he had to get his one. So he's been on his best behavior. So we're gonna let that one just coast on over.
That was funny. Somebody put on Twitter it said, you know how they get on there and they'll ask questions, like a stupid question, everybody answers them. It says, say one word about Joe Biden. I couldn't resist. And I said retired.
He should have been retired a long time ago. I'm really tired of talking about this lady. I really am. Can we move on?
Yeah. So I'm gonna touch base on CrowdStrike. I know we just podcasted about that. It's still like there's a lot of information about that company, and me and Shawna touched on it just briefly. But just to add to that, Elon Musk eliminated CrowdStrike from all of his programming. Dumped them. Nothing.
Oh, you know one thing about Elon, he gonna do what he want to do, and
he
he is
not
fucking with whatever America has going on. He know more than we do, but he is not fucking with it. And every time they do something, he'd be like, cut out. Like, you know, they can't even have iPhones in like any of his buildings.
Right. He's not stupid.
Like, he's not playing around.
He is the best businessman on the planet, and he has the Starlink satellites. So he knows everything.
If he did that, then he need to get them people down up off that moon.
You know, we ain't never been to the moon.
Well, wherever they are, Boeing has left these people in the freaking
He's working on it.
He needs to get them down. It's since he got all this technology.
Boeing's a disaster. They get sued all the time.
Because they always doing some shady stuff.
They're probably making airplanes in China.
Because they kill people. Never mind.
Yeah. If you whistle blow, you're going to end up in a ditch. You're going to commit suicide with 7 bullets in your head.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
So to continue on, obviously, I call it the coup of Biden because they pretty much ran a coup on him. They even made ads like telling Biden to pass. They've been
calling it a successful coup.
It was a coup, and
they've been saying it.
They made commercials on TV of these kids, like Gen Zers on TV with signs that say "Pass the torch, Joe." Thanks, Joe, but pass the torch. Like, man, come on, you got to use your campaign money to oust yourself. Get out of here. That's why don't be a Democrat, because Democrats eat their own. Facts. They ate Joe Biden.
They eat children.
Just like those cannibals ate Joe Biden's uncle.
Stop. Let that man rest in peace.
Joe Biden said it.
No, let him rest in peace. He should have never said that. Let that go.
So obviously we talked about like that Kamala's the front runner, but I think there's going to be a coup on her too. And I think
definitely because she not it.
I think Hillary is going to be the candidate.
We already know what
probably either with Gavin Newsom, who has the worst state in America, or Gretchen Whitmer, who fakes abductions and in cahoots with FBI agents.
I don't even think they're gonna try to run with Hillary, and she might have a good chance of running this time, because I feel like since we ain't had Kamala, it's gonna be like, you know what? At least this time we can put somebody in there that has done politics. She's lived politics for a long time.
Yeah, but she's corrupt. Like look at the Benghazi thing.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
she doesn't care about death.
There's some people that are literally like, they do not want Trump as president. So with that being said,
yeah, but Trump being assassinated flipped a bunch of votes.
I know
the independents have abandoned the Democrats.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of people that strongly feels like they do not care. Like they would rather have his.
Just wait till the polls come out. Let's just see what the polls say when they come out. So I'll guarantee you the black male vote has massively switched over to Trump.
Oh God, I wish y'all would leave us out of this. This white people.
But that's you gotta understand. You have to understand, Shawna. The black vote is the deciding vote.
We know, but we don't want to be. We want to pass this baton so bad.
But if there's anybody that's going to like actually pay attention to the black voters, Trump will do it, and you're gonna see things. You know, he promised he was going to bring the auto industry back to Detroit. That's big for the black community. That brings back middle class back to Detroit. Have you been to Detroit?
No, I'm good.
It looks like a nuke went off there.
Yeah, I would like to go to Detroit back when it was like, Motown.
Oh yeah, it was awesome back then.
I would have loved it.
That was a happening town. But yeah, Detroit's is a mess, and they fight the battle of every time a president comes in. Are they going to move? Are they going to raise the corporate taxes so the auto industry moves to Mexico? They do it. This is a constant thing.
Let me tell you something. Mexico gonna be on some ingenuitive shit. I'll tell you that much.
Well, they have a super communist president right now. So the first woman president of Mexico, and she is evil.
Oh,
yes. But Trump said he's going to let her know how it works.
Oh.
He said if they don't cooperate, he's going to put a 100% tariff on everything that comes into this country. Mexico won't be able to sell nothing. They make most of their money off of us. So if Trump puts 100% tariff on their stuff, they're done. They have to cooperate.
He do not like Mexico.
He's smart though.
He do not like.
Oh my God, Ilhan Omar's on TV. Okay, so I am going to bring up something that the American media refuses to report that I found on international news. So the Russians uncovered and shut down a child sex ring in the Ukraine. Russia's been pointing, like saying, hey, everybody, look over here. Look what we found. Just like with the biolabs. So there's America has biolabs all over the Ukraine. And when Russia first went into the Ukraine, they found them. And they said, hey, look at all these American biolabs over here. They're making biochemical weapons here. And nobody really paid too much attention to it. American media shot it down. They didn't even respond. Same thing with this just recent story about the child sex ring in the Ukraine. Ukraine is also notorious for having like one of the largest organ harvesting trafficking rings ever there. So there's a lot of corrupt things that happen in Ukraine, which is why I don't support giving them anything, because everything they do, they corrupt. And now we've got Zelensky's putting out hit lists on the people who go against him, like in America. Like Candace Owens is on the list. That's how I found out the list exists, because she made a TikTok about it, and she's on the list. Candace Owens.
I'm sorry, that's not funny. I'm sorry, Candace. I'm not laughing.
I love Candace Owens.
Not you would piss people off that bad. I didn't know she was doing. I didn't know she was doing that.
Well, because she's an avid, critic of Ukraine, and rightfully so. We as Americans have the right to question things, and those communists in Ukraine don't seem to understand that. They think that Zelensky should just walk into our Congress whenever he wants with his hands out and go, give me some fucking money. And then Joe Biden's just over there, let me get my checkbook. How much? 72
I wish he would do that with the citizens here in America who are living on the street.
Well, and that's what's costing Joe Biden vote. That's what killed Joe Biden.
Joe.
Well, let's see if Kamala fixes it. If she sticks with the globalization,
she gonna be just as bad as Kanye when he said black people chose slavery.
Right.
Like, you need to help yourselves.
Also,
my parents were immigrants.
Also, here's another story that I didn't tell you about.
What?
So another story came out. There's a social justice group that does like when the immigrants come across the border legally or illegally, they've got these like housing units there to house them until they get transported. It's ran by a group called Southwest Key.
No, you told me that.
So Southwest Key is under this massive investigation finally after like 10 years of their employees raping all the kids that come through there.
Yeah, it had started in 2015.
So where you at on that, Joe? Why are all these like sex rings happening under Joe Biden's watch?
Well, technically, if we want to be real, it started under Obama.
Because it definitely did.
It started. Well, but Joe was still there because he was being
right. Well, that's what I was saying with the biolabs in Russia that they found. You know whose names are all over the bills that put them there?
Mm-hmm.
Barack Obama and Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
It happened in 2007. They both were senators back then, and they made that happen. So both of those guys have deep ties into the Ukraine. So there's that. Go research that. And then Blinken, Anthony Blinken, he put out a statement yesterday, I think, that basically saying Iran's close to a nuclear breakout, that they're close. There is a company out in California that makes like the rubber like landing craft for the military. They just asked that company to double their orders. So I think we're close to something. Everybody's making maneuvers because we're a mess here, and everybody's going to take advantage of it. Mark my words. So I want to go through the fake news things of the week, and then we'll get into Shawna's specialty.
Anybody has specialty?
If you're a liberal, for the 5 millionth time, Donald Trump has denounced Project 2025 over and over and over. Yes, he has friends that helped make the book, all 900 pages. But the thing is, he's come out in his rallies and he's like, look, I'm aware of it now, and it's too radical for me. I'm not going to use it. He has specifically said that this is too radical for me. I'm not using it. And he's like, I have my own plan that's not radical like that one. So for all the influencers out there that keep peddling that lie, if you're a liberal and you watch my show, don't believe the Project 2025 stuff. It's all mumbo jumbo to get you to think that Donald Trump is trying to destroy democracy, because that's what your communist CNN is trying to tell you to think. Trump also did a really good job outlining his plan at his Michigan rally. I'm not going to get into that because we got to get into Shawna's segment.
No, but you get into it.
Well, there's a lot.
Okay.
The first thing he's going to do is shut the border down. Day one. And that's what they say, liberals, for all you guys that don't know how to listen or read. Donald Trump is going to do what every president in the United States always does on day one as president, just like Joe Biden did. He acted as a dictator and got rid of all the shit he don't like so he can implement the stuff that he wants to put there. Same old, same old. Joe Biden was the dictator on his first day in president. The country's still standing somehow.
Barely.
So you're worried about your own fucking dictators.
No, seriously though, on a serious note.
It's so annoying though. Like, how stupid can you be? Like, the truth is out there. Nobody just they're like, we don't want to face reality because we've been told this lie, and we don't want to be told what the truth is because the lie
Sometimes
is.
people want to choose to be ignorant. That's okay.
And she's a liberal and she gets it.
I'm not a liberal.
Yeah, but you're a moderate and you get it. You understand what's happening. And like, there was probably a time where you didn't understand it, but over time you started to see it. And then you're like, wait a minute, things aren't as they seem. And there's a lot of liberals out there, a lot of Democrats that haven't had that awakening yet.
But it's not even, well, you know how I tell you all the time. See it differently.
Well, you have to. You can't fully put your trust in the government.
But that's what I'm saying. It's always been seen different in my eyes because I've seen the other end of things. A lot of people who have not been in those positions, this is why it's hard for them to grasp. It's always been, you've been taught the American dream, you know, retired, family, blase, all of these things like that. And America's doing a good job in giving you the best country that the land can buy and freedom. So for a lot of people, this is years and years of conditioning that you've been told like that these are good people, and they're not. But it's different because we see it differently. We've always seen it different. So it's hard for people. It's like, think about like you're a kid and your parents have been telling you one thing your whole life for you to find out they've been lying to you this whole time. It's devastating.
Well, I always said that I was going to be Peter Pan and I'm never going to grow up.
Okay. Well, you didn't grow up, so I think you might have succeeded in that.
I try to fly all the time. No one's looking.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't work.
Explains so many things.
But I don't have my own like fairy.
Anyways.
I need a fairy. If you're a fairy, DM me.
Anyways. So it's hard for people right now because they're finding out a lot of things and a lot of lies that a lot of people have been told they're crazy about. That's actually been true. So there we go.
Berries.
Anyways, moving on.
Moving on. And must I remind you that Joe Biden was an incompetent president, so don't vote for whoever the next incompetent president is going to be, or Democrat candidate, Kamala Harris, Hillary Clinton. You can't have Kamala Harris who just cackles all the time, and then you can't have Hillary Clinton that just kills her opposition all the time. Allegedly.
They are very both bad examples of women in power. That's all I want to say. You know, I'm not a feminist, no, but just wanting to point out that when we say women can do it, we don't mean them to. We don't mean them to. We mean hardworking.
What about
women.
Oprah? Did Oprah get kicked off the island?
See, this is what you're doing. You want to put on everybody's list.
What?
To be flagged for Lord knows what, you go right ahead. I'm not a part of that. Anyways, Oprah, baby, you do you.
That's not what you said last time we talked about Oprah.
We're not gonna talk about Oprah. We're not doing none of that. See, this is what's wrong with you. This is why you get in shadow banned, because you just want to irk people.
I'm expendable.
Well, you be expendable by yourself. That's not me.
I just get like it's yeah. Never mind.
Leave it alone.
Next item up for bid. So we are going to go through and talk about the trial of Young Thug. It's significant here. A lot of people probably have no idea what's going on with this case because they don't really like super cover it nationally, but it's happening here, right here in Atlanta. So we hear a lot about it. It's in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution all the time. But it's this thing. I'm going to go through, and Shawna's going to help me go through this because there's a lot of information. There are a lot of people involved, and this thing is big. So here's our coincidence. The district attorney that's heading this up is the Fulton County District Attorney, Fani Willis. So everyone knows who Fani Willis is and how credible she is. Credible human being. Probably the greatest that we've ever seen. So she gets this, she indicts the rapper Young Thug, right? So Young Thug, when was this? 2012 when he created YSL? Yeah, so Young Thug created his own record label, YSL, which stands for Young Slime Life, I think. Is that right? Am I getting this right? If I'm wrong, just because I don't understand the lingo sometimes.
Oh God, here we go. Just YSL, anyways.
Okay, so YSL, the record label. Well, things happen through the course of the individuals involved in this, and so Fani Willis has built a RICO case against Young Thug and all the people for YSL. She's claiming that they've turned into a criminal street gang. So some of the charges are like attempted armed robbery, murder, attempted murder. You know, they've got all the big charges that you would expect to see in a RICO case. You know, the public, so Metro Atlanta and especially Atlanta is a big, hip hop's big here. Rap is big here. This is, it's the big industry here. So the public is very critical of this case because it borderlines not allowing someone to freely have an artistic expression. So just because you rap about something, it doesn't mean that's what you want to happen or that's what is happening or what you could just be telling a story because a lot of music is storytelling. So that's the angle a lot of people are looking at it through. Why blame the rappers for everything? They're just telling a story. Okay, I can buy that. It'd be the same thing as like the story, you know, every song about Michael Jackson. You know, is he really a smooth criminal? Should we lock up Michael?
Please. They trying to get money now from him.
He's still alive.
Man is dead and gone.
He's on an island.
In here doing stuff
with Tupac
anyways
and Elvis and Jeffrey Epstein. What? Anyway, so they've got like the whole crew of YSL has been charged, right?
pretty much.
So some of these guys they've pled out, like Gunna. Why am I reporting this? You should be reporting. I sound like a dumbass.
Gunna, you said it right.
Gunna.
Yeah.
So Gunna, he walked free, and so they won't let Young Thug out. I'm gonna throw this in there real quick. He's been denied bail 3 times. And so they're claiming that they're scared that there's been credible threats to witnesses and that they're scared the witnesses are going to get killed and all this yada yada yada, typical prosecution stuff. But Gunna didn't.
Such a threat.
Yeah, well, Gunna didn't get into bail either at first. He eventually did, but they offered him a deal, and he pled out to a racketeering conspiracy. And they also allowed him to have an Alford plea. Well, let me tell you about Alford pleas, because I know a little bit about Alford pleas. They don't just hand those out. That's when they don't want to fight you. So they try to make your deal sweet. So you'll just take it and get out of their hair. So that's what they did, and they gave him 5 years. They probably made a deal that he would testify against Young Thug. But the way that the Georgia law, rules is that his plea deal only applies to his case. So if they make him testify against Young Thug, he could have made that deal. Like, yeah, I'll go testify. But all he has to do is go up on the stand and say, I'm going to invoke the 5th, and boom, that's done. So, he could be backdooring Fonnie Willis's people on that, which that's what I probably would have done that instead of facing the attempted murder and murder charges. What do you think about that, Tom?
Everybody,
They're gonna do the right thing. I mean, we don't know the specifics of the deal. They're not going to tell us.
Yeah, the whole thing is it's so many conflicting stories. Of course, in the culture of no snitch, everybody feel like, oh, you shouldn't have said nothing.
Nobody plays by
you should have said it out. Blah, 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 blah. I think, for one, everybody has a stand on stuff until it's actually happening for you, and they come in with a paper full of things, and they're telling you, all right, we got 56 counts.
Oh yeah, it's intimidating when you get an indictment that's got
so for each count, it's like 20 years minimum.
Right.
So if you get tried for all 56 and you get like 43 of them, you're looking at 100-something plus years of jail time.
I think there was 87.
I seen 56.
Oh, you might be right. I don't know.
I seen 56, but it's a 56 count indictment. Yes. But the whole thing is that a lot of people can say these things, but until you're in that position and your life is literally in the hands of other people, would you really sit there and be like, oh, I'm going to do this and that? I don't do criminal activities, so I would never be put in that position. But I'm just saying, like, everybody has an opinion about something and they don't do it, or they're not in that. So you can't say what you would or wouldn't do. No matter how much money you have or how great a lawyer is, like, if they got the evidence to go against you, you're going to do time. But I think the main thing is that a lot of people had a lot of stuff to say about that, but he's out, he's prospering. He is both said that him and Thug are on good terms, that there is no bad blood between the two of them. So, and that is too part of it. So I feel like maybe this was part of the plan in the first place to get him out, to make sure that he was good, because if everybody knows Thug, then he's a person that goes to the back for his people. So this is probably a plan that he already told him, look, just take this, get you out of the situation, blase, blase.
Well, so so it looks like there's, like, at the beginning, there were about 28 co-defendants.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing you do when you get charged with other people is your attorney's going to file a motion to separate. And that's what they have done. And so they've all had their cases separated, tried separate instead like having all of them in one room and facing the same jury at the same time on the same charges. So it increases your chances of your specific role in it, being found not guilty. So it's a good strategy. It pretty much happens anytime people get charged together to try to separate. But Young Thug doesn't seem to want to help himself out very much. So he had one of his co-defendants during open court try to slip him a Percocet. Go ahead. You got thoughts on that?
No, I don't.
It doesn't make you look innocent.
I don't think
that was
I don't think that was on him. I think that was more so on
it was Khalif.
This whole trial has been wild. I think one of the things is that this has been like one of the longest running trials in Georgia. So that's a little crazy. This has been going on since November.
And they're talking another 120 months.
Did you hear what the new judge did? Oh, that's another thing. So we've changed judges three times. This is the third judge. Yeah. So let me see. What is her name? The judge. Where is she?
That one guy, he was super crooked.
Yeah.
Glanville, Judge
Glanville, basically Thug, and shout out to Thug's lawyer. If y'all in some real trouble,
Brian Steele,
y'all go hit my boy up because he working overtime. He was willing to spend time in jail with Thug.
He did 20 days
to go. No, he didn't.
Well, he got 20. They sent.
They gave him bond. That man ain't spend no day in jail. But he said if he had to spend time in jail, if he could do it, spend it with Thug. Now that's a lawyer.
Brian Steele.
My boy is
Atlanta.
For you. Brian, you're doing the Lord's work out there. You keep doing what you do, okay? Anyways, so yeah, basically the first judge, Glanville, he was basically crooked. I don't know what else to say. He was having secret meetings with witnesses.
So I want to touch on that because that's a major no. And so he had a secret meeting with a witness
in
his chambers off the record to convince that witness to testify. And judges are not supposed to do stuff like that. Judges are supposed to hear evidence and make rulings, period. So he overstepped his boundaries and ended up getting him in a bunch of trouble, and they removed him. But so what that is right there. So that gives Young Thug one ground for appeal. So he has that in his back pocket right now. Well, then we move on to there's a guy named YSL Mondo. Is that right?
Yes, YSL Mondo. Yeah.
YSL Mondo. So he is one of the co-founders of YSL, the gang record label. So he admitted to having a relationship with Fani Willis. Why does it seem like she just gets around Atlanta? Does everybody take a shot at Fani Willis?
I'm trying not to be disrespectful.
She's
my mother told me not to say, if I don't say anything nice, not to say anything at all. So I have my
mom's in heaven, so I say whatever I want.
I choose to keep
Fani Willis has a problem. She has a corruption problem. She has I am willing to recklessly compromise the integrity of the court and my case over my own guilty pleasures. Is that safe to say? Yeah. Is that a nice way to say it?
Mm-hmm. I think so. That was very nice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm working on it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's grounds number 2 for appeal. So one of your associates is sleeping with the district attorney. And
that should have been an instant mistrial, in my opinion.
Well, you have to go to trial to get a mistrial.
That still should have been a mistrial. That's all I'm saying. That should have compromised it all together. And then
and that's what
Glanville should have definitely all right, this should have been over with January. Right. Why are we almost in August?
You know why Judge Glanville threw Steele in jail?
Because he called him out on it in the middle of court.
He did, but the reason why was because Steele wouldn't tell Glanville who told him.
Yeah.
If he wouldn't do nothing dirty, there would be nothing to tell.
He was like, "Who told you that?"
Yeah.
Do that.
So this is what you have. This is the Fulton County judicial system. If they'll do this to a president, they'll do it to a rapper. They'll do it to an average citizen. You can't trust the judicial system in Fulton County, Georgia.
And this is why why people have problems with Cop City. This is all I'm saying. This is all I'm saying. It's very correct.
But I don't think this is a cop thing. This is it
But
starts.
I'm just saying, like, these are the people that's in charge, that's over the cops.
'Cause-
And look what's happening.
Yeah, but the cops, so the way investigations like this work, detectives get involved and they build the case and then they throw it to the district attorney.
I mean, yeah.
And then the district attorney looks at it and goes, well, can I even get this through a grand jury? Yeah, I can. Okay. Here, grand jury, decide. So there's a lot of like moving parts in that. The bad part about grand juries is if you're a defendant and your case is about to go to the grand jury, you have no representative in there. So you have no way to defend yourself against even getting the charges. You're just basically letting the prosecutor gets to twist and turn and manipulate however they want to get the indictments through. They do it all the time. That's why the old saying is you can indict a hamburger, because you can't fight it. It's the prosecutors have 100% leeway to do whatever they want in grand juries. It is a jacked up system.
But one thing after another, this has all just been a very janky case. So, it's like a circus. If anybody watched the Johnny Depp in Heard case,
yeah, it's like that.
This is like 10 times worse. It is. It's ridiculous.
Except you have corrupt court system involved in this one.
Yeah.
It just keeps going and going and going. The more stuff keeps coming up. It's like, how can you guys screw up cases that bad? If you look at the evidence in itself, let's take away all of the mistakes that the courts have made, and you just look at the case. This is a slam dunk. They have that whole crew. The evidence is there. Now, if they're gonna screw this whole case up, it makes me feel like they're doing it on purpose.
This is stupid. I honestly feel like they were thinking that, I don't know. I personally just feel like Fonnie was really smelling herself since that Trump case, and she was just like, "Oh, this hole in one. We got this in the back."
She took on 2 RICO cases at one time.
That's what she's like. Oh yeah, we got this. We got them. We gonna get it up like boom, 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 and they've been dropping like flies.
So next corrupt thing that happened in this case, I'm telling you, it just keeps going.
No, it really does. You had a field day looking up this stuff today.
Oh, I did. I love this. Is my wheelhouse. So an investigator for the district attorney for Fonnie Willis's office was interviewing a witness and then started texting and sexually harassing him to get him to testify. So there's the next thing. So there's so many grounds for a mistrial and an appeal. Young Thug is his lawyer's good, and he's gonna have, when this hits the court, if this hits trial, he's gonna have a field day with it. This is a mistrial.
So, let me tell you about that. You got any more?
Go ahead.
Okay. So, like we said before, there's a new judge. So there was Judge Canville, and then there was a black lady, and she stepped down. She said she didn't want to have anything to do with it. Yeah, she was like, no.
She wanted part.
I don't even want to have anything to do with it. So now we got another lady. Her name is Paige Reese Whitaker, and she basically took. Okay, so just to take in mind, this is 19 months old. This case, just to let y'all know. But she basically said she basically told everybody they got what she told them. She told the.
I know
she said she gave the attorneys. She gave the attorneys deadline. So she said
she's gonna move the case along.
She got it on July 23rd to file motions, and prosecutors a deadline of Friday, July 25th to file responses before she hears arguments starting on Tuesday, July 30th. But the actual what are they called? The people who watch the trial.
Talking about the jury.
The jury. Selection. Yeah, the jury won't be back in until August 5th.
Okay, so August 5th is when this case is going to pick back. So getting kind of close.
But she's basically telling them that she's not hearing anything about mistrials. She's not doing any of that. Like, she basically like, I just got dropped in on the case. I'm going to take time to look at everything. And then she's like, y'all can come with all the motions that you want to, and then you can respond to them and we'll go from there. But
they already screwed it up.
And that's why she's like, I feel like she's trying to give them the one opportunity to like, okay, y'all have been bullshitting this the entire time. So now I'm going to give you one time to get your shit together. And if you still don't have it together, guess what? This is going to be a fucking mistrial.
But you already
doing shit. That's fucked up.
She already has compromised witnesses, though. That's what Fani Willis's office compromised the witnesses. And you can't get that back. Once you compromise them, they're compromised. They're not, their credibility's gone. And you know, it's just like what they do with like rape cases. Like when Kobe, I don't want to bring Kobe up. I love Kobe. Mm-hmm. But when Kobe got accused by that girl in Denver, mm-hmm. Kobe offered her money. Here, as soon as that girl takes that money, she loses her court credibility 100%. And she would never get a detective to listen to her after she took that money. Yeah. It's the same thing. Once you compromise the witness, it's done. You can't use that witness. That witness is now over. And that also it hurts both sides, the defense and the prosecution. So it's going to be interesting to see, how this continues to play out. Now, I did look a little bit into Fani Willis a little bit more, obviously, because of the election interference case that's on hold right now here in Atlanta. So Fani Willis has a RICO problem. That's like her thing. Like, so it tells me that she's trying to do all these high profile cases, and so far she sucks at them. But she keeps doing them. She even in 2014, the Atlanta teachers were trying to boost their scores for the standardized test, so they were cheating, and Fani Willis threw RICO charges at them. The RICO statute was developed for mafia, not teachers, mafia. But she uses that RICO statute like she made it, and it's insane. She wants racketeering charges on everybody.
She would have been thrown off instead of that.
She needs to be. She should be disbarred in Georgia.
She should. She really should, because she's definitely abusing power.
She's super abusing power.
And her days are numbered. I'll definitely tell you. Not on like her death, but I'm saying I can definitely, her days are numbered. Like, this case has definitely shed light on how you said she's compromised.
Yeah,
definitely. It's definitely shed light on that. So her days are very much numbered.
I feel like she's doing what she's doing because she has a bigger political aspiration. You know, she's trying to keep herself relevant and on the map. Mm-hmm. And that you can't be a politician and be a district attorney at the same time. You are a politician as a district attorney. However, you can't compromise people's freedom for your political gain. That's wrong. So you can't keep taking on these high profile cases or creating with the Atlanta teachers. You can't create your own high profile case just to make yourself relevant for future political considerations. That's ethically wrong.
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely been.
She has a super ethics problem. She sleeps with married men.
She's sleeping with rappers. The thing is, what makes that crazy to me about that is that you're a person of law. Like, you literally are a lawmaker, and it's very interesting that you would affiliate yourself. And I'm not saying that these people that's a part of YSL are bad people, but I'm saying that clearly they're around illegal activity at some point or at some form of fashion, even if it wasn't in today, but maybe in the past. For you to affiliate yourself with somebody like that, you're supposed to be holding yourself to a different standard to protect the people that you made an oath to, is very interesting to me.
You know what's really interesting to me?
I don't hear this.
Do you know what gang Young Thug's affiliated with?
I don't hear this.
The Bloods.
Okay.
I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Young Thug is affiliated with the Bloods.
What's your point?
I just learned it. It's part of the fact.
Okay.
It might be relevant in something.
Okay.
So he is a gang member.
Was this man is
How do you
living
know?
a lavish life?
How do you know? Did you get his resignation from the blood?
This is all I'm saying.
Did you blood him out?
All I'm saying. You don't see him on the street asking, selling, doing nothing. He's living in a
rich.
Exactly.
He lives in Buckhead.
Exactly.
What do you want him to do?
Yeah, and what he doing is live his rich life. That's what he's supposed to be doing. Not out there in the streets compromising his money and the stuff he's worked for.
Memphis Bleak. Those dudes, when those dudes were rappers, they lived in the hood still, like in a house that barely had a roof on it. Like, where you guys got millions of dollars? You're living in a shack.
Okay.
But I guess they must have kept them rooted or something. I mean,
They're not spending money on
they weren't
frivolous things.
I mean, they had like a Rolls Royce in the driveway, but
they can splurge on their one thing. If they're living moderately everywhere else, they splurge on this one thing.
I don't know how I remembered that.
That's okay.
I think it was on MTV Cribs one time. They went
Oh my God, you're showing your age.
I watched MTV Cribs
I think we
religiously.
all did. The shit was fire.
I like Shaq's. That was my favorite one.
Yeah, no, the Superman bit was totally off. We love you, Shaq.
I still have yet to figure out how Shaq.
I told you his assistant came one day up. We made coffee for.
They went all the way up there.
Well, he was close. You know, I'm not far from down, like where he was at one of the hotels downtown. I was like 10, 15 minutes away.
I'm Shaquille O'Neal.
And our store is right behind the Hawks training facility.
You know, he lives in Henry County, right?
I know. Yeah.
He lives in my county. Shaquille O'Neal, deputy sheriff.
We love you, Shaq. We love you, though. Shaq.
We love Shaq.
We love Shaq.
Do you see that video of him where he goes down? They got that call where these kids were playing basketball in the middle of the street. I don't know if it was like in Jonesboro or something. It was somewhere. No, that's in Clayton County, ain't it? It was somewhere in Henry County.
Mm.
And the cop called because they would get into the traffic, couldn't get around. The kids weren't getting out of the way fast enough. And so they called the cop. Well, the cop came down and he didn't, he had no intentions on doing anything to these kids. And so he started hooping with them, and which is cool. You see that a lot around here. The cops will do stuff with you. But then he came back.
It depends on where you are.
He came back like a week later with Shaq. He said, I brought some back up. And then Shaq paid each kid. They had a foul shooting contest. And he paid each kid $100 to make a foul shot.
Oh no, Shaq's awesome. He loved the
people. He signed stuff for them. He hooked those kids up. And that's good because things like that change your life. They do.
I won't say it won't, but
you're gonna remember that Shaq was kind. Yeah. Shaq was kind to me when he was rich and famous. He was kind to me, and those things play a part. That kid will never let anybody talk bad about Shaq.
Good for Shaq.
I like Shaq.
No, he's cool. He's good people. He's a very great businessman too.
And he's a Freemason. If I knew some. Maybe. Shaquille O'Neal. I play basketball. For the Los Angeles. They don't like my Shaq impersonation.
No, they don't.
Okay, well, that's pretty much it. The point of that is to show how corrupt the Fulton County court system is. That's a dirty court. I have seen a lot of court systems personally, and Fulton County has big problems.
Here you go. All y'all people want to move to Atlanta. This what we dealing with. Y'all stay where you are.
You come to Henry County, we're safe. Henry County's safe. Because I live here. I leave my. Never mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Say that. I got a ferocious dog.
Sure. His cat's a little crazy though.
My baby. Right there.
I feel like the cat would do something before Yeti would.
I know my cats are they're killers, straight killers. come in here. They are assassins.
You come with a bone or a ball, yeah, that's it. She's not doing nothing.
She ain't doing nothing right now. She's trying to just get on TV. That's what she's trying to do. But that's pretty much it for the show. I expect a lot of stuff to happen in the next week. So if I have to do some more emergency shows, I will. However, up until then, we'll save it for Wednesday. And I want everybody to make sure you're being safe out there. Know your surroundings. It's dangerous out there. As the political temperature rises, so will the violence levels will rise. So everybody be careful out there. Watch your back. Travel in groups. And just be safe.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'm out of here.
Oh, will it let me do it?
Oh, I got to get my cursor all the way over here. All right. I'm out. Peace.
Your camera sucks. It won't let me do it. It does it on mine, though.